बड़े पापा के
Hi, I'm Anisha. I moved to London 2 years ago, and this was the first time I visited home since.
Morning, girls. Good morning.
2 years is a long time. Yes, I've stayed away from home before, but not for this long at a stretch. I feel like I'm a totally different person now. I see life differently. I was excited to see my family, but frankly, I felt a little weird too. Didn't know what to expect, mixed feelings, I guess. But that eased pretty quickly. Maybe what I was worried about was the change. I didn't want it to go back to a place which didn't feel familiar anymore. But I realized pretty quickly that some things do not change. That feeling of a warm hug, the comfort of ghar ka khana just hits different. And that's what I was missing. These past 2 years have been a roller coaster in many ways. I've spent a good chunk of my time in London cutting down costs at grocery stores and buying the cheapest meals, which a lot of the time meant not eating what I want and not fulfilling my body's nutrition needs. I started looking at cheap and quick solutions to fill my belly.
मैं लंदन में सोचूं ना तो बिस्तर के बीच में सोती हूँ तो कहीं भी पलटो जगह होती है या एक तरफ पलटो आप थे तो दूसरी तरफ गिरी गई नीचे.
I used to eat 3 times a day back home, which felt such a waste of time now that I've moved to London and reduced it for 2 meals per day. But to compensate, I would stuff my face to the point where my body just can't take it anymore, just to prepare myself for the long wait before dinner. And no matter how much I ate, the thought of what's for the next meal never left my head, and the cycle repeated. I knew something was wrong with me, but I couldn't pinpoint. I was gaining weight, I would spend the entire day lying in bed doom scrolling. I would save million recipes but wouldn't get around to making those. The solution to all this for me at the time was joining a gym, which I did. It got me off of my bed in the morning and seriously improved my mood. Things started to look up, but I just felt something was missing. So, as a normal person, I went to the internet looking for answers. Listened to some podcasts, did some research to find out exactly what was it that I was struggling with. It wasn't just me getting out of shape, it was much deeper. I was struggling with the lack mentality, constantly stressing over money, stressing over putting food on the table, feeling that I don't have enough, and trying to be frugal with every decision, which led me to developing a negative relationship with food. And I don't know why it had come down to this point. I was never in that position that I had to starve because there's nothing to eat, or I had such low amount in my bank account that I'm not able to afford groceries. It was never like that. The problem was my way of thinking, overthinking and stressing about things that could happen but never did. As a survival method, our brains tend to think the worst for us to prepare us for every bad situation that can happen. But I had made my thoughts way over my reality. Food, one of the two things I enjoy the most in life. Second, being traveling. Call me a basic bitch, I wouldn't mind. I couldn't get my head around the fact that my thoughts around money would affect my mental health and impact the way I live my life. But it was true. When we are operating with a lack mentality, we want to hold on to things. For me, that was holding on to money, stuffing myself with food, never letting go, never believing that more is on its way. This isn't my last meal or my last paycheck. Me trying to hold back on spending any of it intensified my belief that there isn't much left for me. Yes, it took me a while to shift how I think and start believing that I have enough, and the fact that it is okay to spend a little extra, put in some time and effort to make a healthy meal for yourself. Buy things for yourself, treat yourself here and there, not because now you suddenly hit a jackpot and do not need to worry about money anymore, but because you've started thinking as someone with an abundance mindset. People who do not stress about spending money because they see the value that they are getting in return. People who think positively about money and believe that there is more on its way and there's ample of it for everyone.
हर जगह फाफड़ा खाखड़ा और गांठिया ही मिल रहा है.
Changing how you think isn't easy. It takes time and constant effort. You have to be a little delusional at times. But you know what? It works. Trust me, there have been ups and downs in my journey, but I've come really far. I still just earn from my part-time minimum wage job, but I'm a lot happier and healthier now. I spend money on foods that would be good for my health. That means spending more on fresh fruits and veggies and less on pre-packaged food. The difference, surprisingly, was not as big as I thought it would be. I would now look at the value I'm gaining against my purchase and be okay with the money coming in and going out, believing that money keeps on flowing and it's not something to be scared of. I'm still a work in progress, trying my level best to not fall back to the old ways. In the middle of me battling my struggles here, when I got a chance to visit my family, come back to a place where the table is always full and I don't have to worry about my next meal, I felt as if after a very long time I can be a child again. Leaving my adulting stress behind for a moment, I felt so much lighter. I love being on my own, love being independent, not because of the freedom that comes with it, but because of what it has taught me. Alone means forcing to be with yourself, learning about yourself, understand and empathize with yourself. But every once in a while, I crave this kind of togetherness, this love. Crave being surrounded by people who love me and show me that love by feeding me ghar ka khana. Crave celebrating festivals together, sharing all kinds of mithai. Crave this exchange of laughter and banter while sipping on some tea and eating chaat. Food does bring people together, and it is the people around you who make the food taste even better. This trip came around the right time to further help me on my personal journey, to give me the confidence to be grateful of the abundance I already have been blessed with. Somehow, being with family gave me the strength to shift my mindset in a positive direction, ease up my worries about not having enough. My thoughts about money and scarcity of it just vanished during my time in India. And I felt that my relationship with food was going back to being a healthy one.
कि हमारी जिंदगी भी हमारी हिंदी फिल्मों की तरह होती है, जिसमें चाहे कितनी भी मुश्किलें आए, कितनी भी मुसीबतें आए, एंड में सब ठीक हो जाता. अगर लाइफ में सब कुछ ठीक नहीं चल रहा है तो डोंट गिव अप, बिकॉज पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे